you make all of them?
With plastic and glue. Alrighty. Today we're just trying to get the Tyranids ready for paint. And after being completely undecided on a basing scheme, I had been stuck in what I like to call analysis paralysis, where you have so many ideas you can't make a real decision about it. So I've decided we're just going to be boring, and since the paint scheme I'm wanting to go with is going to be relatively bright, because I want to go with like a navy and blue and orange and blue color, that my basing should be relatively simple. So with that being said, I think I'm just going to go like with literally the simplest sandy beach, sandy desert vibe. So just a yellow sand base should be fine. That'll be plain enough to not distract from the models while still being contrasting, I'm hoping. And easy, which is going to be a big deal since this is going to be a lot of models. The easier and faster the paint job, the better. Never had to assemble rippers before. I don't know if there's like a certain orientation they need to go in. I'd originally left these off as well because this is going to be awful to try and paint with all these models crowding the base like this. Oh. But whatever. It is what it is. We're going to work with what we got. And I've never put a Tyranid army together before. This is going to be my, like, literally my first time experiencing these guys. And I know I originally said, I've told many people this before, I don't actually like horde armies, or at least I don't think I do. Because I like doing characters. Characters is fun. Anytime I'm painting like a 10-man squad of Space Marines, I get so bored with it. Like, my worst time was Infernus Marines. A 10-man squad of Infernus Marines, I hated those models. Those were awful. Ooh. Oh god, these guys are so fragile. Stay on. There we go. That's pretty neat. Alright, we're gonna let those guys dry and then we'll start basing. Oh, I actually need to... Alright. Well, let's figure out how to do this. The bad part is before I base them, I do want to like wash them off to make sure all the oils and stuff are off of it. And because the black ones, the used models that I got, are still dirty. They were in storage. So let's see. Let's stack these guys up and we'll count them too. I'm sorry, I know this is going to be like a boring live stream, but really, this is the boring work that goes into all this before you can get started with the fun stuff, like painting. I think from the basics of what I've read on... Oh, he's missing a tail. Poor fella. Blah, blah, blah. From the basics that I've read online for current Tyranid meta and stuff, Gaunts, especially like Hormagaunts and stuff, really aren't meta. Personally, I don't care, because I just want a cool army. I don't care if it's actually good or not. But even still, what I've read is that if you do want to take them, usually 60 is going to be like a good solid starting point, and really about the max you'll want to take. How many do we have so far? 6, 8, 12. Gosh, excuse me. 20, 22, 31 right now. Gosh. So we are about halfway there. Let's see. I have other boxes though. Let's dig into those and see what we got. Okay, that box is empty. We still have these ones. And this box that I have no idea what's even in it. That was bad of me. I got this off eBay a while back and I never actually even checked what was in there. Oh, look at that. Gosh, excuse me. I don't know. Gosh. I don't know where I'm getting this call from. Bill, 10 of them. Bill, 10 of them. I don't know what that means. So I guess let's dump these guys and see what's in here. Oh, was I supposed to be able to make more than one set of rippers? I don't know. These guys must be really old. Look at that plastic. Use set. New. Oh my gosh. Maybe it's the dust from these old models. Oh, and these are all different. Here's guys with guns. Here's the claw guys. I may have to kill the live stream just because that's annoying. Oh, look at this dude. What? This guy's old. Okay, we're gonna have to set him aside. That's neat. Oh, there's another one. God, these are so crazy looking, these old ones. That's awesome. Gun guy, gun guy, gun guy. Claw guy, claw guy. Gun guy. Let's make sure these bases are the same. They are not. Wait. How's that work? I didn't... Oh, no. This is literally a new box. Why are these guys on a bigger base? Look at that. I don't know what base size they're actually supposed to be on. Well, whatever. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. We're not gonna, it's not that deep. There we go. All right, let's go to the next packet. More guns. Claw guy with no base. What is wrong? This one looks dead. Huh. More guns. Yeah, doing Tyranids may have been a bad idea. This is gonna take forever. There's some more rippers. And a Space Marine gun of some kind of dual bolter. Here's another old guy. I need like 10 of these now. I need a squad of those old models. Another one. There he is. Oh, well, something. A bottle cap? Really? Ripper. Alright, so now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16 Hormigons. 47. We've got 47 now. Oh, I forgot these guys. $48, $49, $50. Okay, so we're not, like, we're really not that far from 60 if that's how many we actually want to get. I don't really know what to do with it. I think this one might have been attached to this base here. But like, it really, I literally might just use that as a dead Tyranid, honestly. How many? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This would be 16. These guys are ending up in odd numbers. And let's see how bad the mold lines are here. Could be worse. I want these guys to look good, but I also don't want to get caught up in the nitty-gritty of it. So yeah, really, this is just, we're gonna be prepping models, just a little hobby hangout. Ask me questions, chat with me if you want. Or don't if you want, that's okay too. Honestly, this is something I need to do while I'm watching TV. Just clean mold lines on all these guys. But also, I really want to get in here. I want to get them sprayed and get a layer of paint on there. I've been reading some stuff about Tyranids lately. Mostly just like lore and fan theories and stuff like that. And one thing that I didn't realize is that in a lot of the literature, which, oops, I need to adjust this so this is more comfortable for me. Alright, let's see if that works any better. Hormigons, you gotta move. Okay, anyways, like I was saying, I did not realize that in a lot of the literature, that sounds like we're going to Warhammer College. Reading stuff, the hive mind itself is considered like somewhat sentient with its own motivations, which I find kind of weird. But that, you know, Tyranids are always called the Great Hunger and all that, and we know that their base units, like these, Gaunts, or Gants, however you want to say that, are mindless drones that just go out there and they just eat, adapt, eat some more. That is what they do. The Great Hunger. But the hive mind itself can have its own motivations that are not simply just to reproduce and continuing to feed. And I know a lot of people believe that the Tyranids are like a bioweapon created by another alien race from another galaxy. And I think that's probably true. And I think that fits with typical lore, hammer, Warhammer lore, in that a lot of the alien races that we have, like the orcs, which were preceded by the Krorks or whatever, were a biological weapon built by the old ones. So it does have precedent for one of the factions, one of the Xenos factions in Warhammer, to be created as a biological weapon by someone else. Personally, I believe whoever created them or however they were developed don't exist anymore. Kind of like, they remind me of like the Reapers in Mass Effect, which, spoiler alert for a very old game now, the Reapers were, they were big ships. They were like a robotic AI that reset the universe every so often. I can't remember exactly why they did. Oh, that's weird. I don't know what that is. I can't remember off the top of my head why the Reapers reset the universe, whether it was to like population curb or prevent some kind of ecological disasters in our universe, or if it was just like timed and every so often they just reset. I actually think it was more that. I think it was a timed reset. Life had X amount of time to live in the galaxy between resets, and the Reapers would come at X amount of time and extinguish all life in the galaxy. And again, why they did that, I don't remember, because it's been a long time since I've played those games. But yeah, that's kind of what I feel like the Tyranids have probably done. That they go in and cleanse a whole galaxy. That is their purpose. Did they come about like naturally, biologically, evolutionarily to solve the problem of overpopulation in the galaxy or anything like that? I don't know. Probably not. Because if the purpose was to reset, completely stripping the galaxy of all living life forms, doesn't seem like a good way to do that. I mean, I guess you could have a cleanup crew type thing come in and reseed the galaxy. That could be a thing. But I'm more of the opinion that it was the Tyranids were created by somebody like the old ones, and that I like to think that they got out of hand, ended up killing their own creators, and then moved on because they didn't know what else to do after that. Just to continue moving, continue spreading, continuing to wipe out any other intelligent, sentient life. Well, in the Tyranids case, it's any life. They don't discriminate. Another thing I've been wondering about is what direction I need to take this channel. Originally started just as like painting models because that's what I like to do. And when I say started, is the channel's been around for like 2 years, I guess, but even still only have a handful of like long form videos. But most recently, what has gained me my most subscribers, the most people who watch, is just a little short that I posted on orienting your FDM miniatures correctly to reduce layer lines and things like that. And I think it's neat, but I also think like there's a lot of 3D printing channels. And one thing that I don't like in the miniature hobby world is when it seems like there's a lot of videos that are like, I'll show you how to do whatever. I'll show you how to make some grimdark terrain or whatever. And like the first step one is buy a 3D printer. and I don't necessarily like that. I think answering people the solution to every problem being, well, just buy a 3D printer, I don't think is very friendly, isn't very community oriented. But they are wonderful, and I use mine constantly. So the question is, should I lean heavier into that? Since a lot of people did seem to be interested in it. Or can I do the same things together? Like, can I have one video about 3D printing and one video about painting a model or building scenery or something like that? I would like to think so, because that's the kind of things that I like to do. But will it please the algorithm? That I don't know. Should I care if it pleases the algorithm? I don't know. I think at the end of the day, I'm just going to do what I want and what I find enjoyable, whether that's popular or not. And I do think it is, it's no surprise or nothing, no new news to most people in the world, but especially us Americans who have been used to a strong economy and certain things in life, our life going a certain way. Things are tough right now. And I do think, because another thing that the reason I started the channel was I'm not very good at anything hobby-wise. I'm very much an amateur. So I wanted to give people a spot to look at somebody who makes mistakes and doesn't always know what they're doing. In fact, most of the time doesn't know what they're doing and is just an amateur hobbyist painter. I just want to be relatable and like talk to and hang out with people who are the same as me. So I believe a cheaper way, not necessarily easier, but a less expensive way to get into this hobby that is very expensive is via 3D printing. I can't tell if that's, I don't think that's supposed to, yeah, no, that is supposed to be there. It's just like a little armor piece. But as I was saying, a cost-effective way is to get into 3D printing. And that's a big thing of mine too, is I want things to be cost-friendly, affordable per people. That's why I put together and released my small line of basing materials that should be the cheapest on the market. I don't see anybody selling what I sell for more than what I sell it for. So I don't really make any money off of it. Well, I mean, I make some, but not. Can't quit my day job, not by a long shot. But I want to give a lower cost barrier to entry for people. And so I do believe, especially with the advancements in FDM printing, that 3D printing is definitely a way to offset your costs. Because I can 3D print stuff for fractions of the price of Games Workshop. And when you're looking at like starter sets and stuff like that, or an army box, and you're looking at, like, let's say the big boxes, that the holiday boxes and stuff, you're looking at $240 for one set. That's not even like a 2,000 point list. Hopefully it's close to 1,000. A lot of times it's like 750 points, but hopefully it's close to 1,000 point list for $240. That's not cheap. And all those boxes are a discount over buying those units individually. But then you have to get into like the ethics of all of that. Personally, I think certain things, like stuff that they've not had in stock in years, like the Astrea Super Heavy Tank or whatever. I feel like people should just be able to print that because Games Workshop's not doing it, Forge World's not doing it, so why not let people print that model? And granted, I've gotten some killer results on FDM. Like, look at this. Sniper Priest Trench Crusade. That's FDM. That's pretty damn good. But I wouldn't expect a newcomer, a new person to just be able to FDM print something high quality out of the box. It's not going to happen. And resin printing is really not feasible for a lot of people because of its toxicity, all the special stuff you need. The startup cost is huge compared to, like, I got my Bamboo A1 Mini that I'm still printing off of today. Earlier in the year for my birthday, I actually got it on a sale right before tariff prices went up. I got my Bamboo and some filament for like $210 out the door. It was a killer deal at one of our local, like, computer stores. And that's less than the cost, like I said, of one of those battle forces that you get from Games Workshop. So I guess where I sit on the matter right now is I still want official kits, but I want to supplement some of that stuff with 3D printed things, proxies and parts. And so yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at on that. I feel like prices have gotten to the point where it's untenable to keep this going. But you can also look at games like Trench Crusade. I know Games Workshop doesn't want to get... They don't seem to have any interest in releasing STLs of their models and such. But look at games like Trench Crusade, where they sell both physical and STLs. And how like huge that's grown, and how many people have gotten into that. And anytime that you make something that gets pirated, like we've seen this with TV, video games, we saw the rise of streaming services and how Steam is so dominant. When you make it easier to obtain material that you want to pirate for a fee, if more people are going to find that to be the convenient way to do it, it's not worth the hassle to hunt down pirated stuff when I can just go to Steam or load up Netflix, have my game right there, get it at an affordable price, and just have it available to me easy. That people stop. There's always going to be some people who are going to pirate stuff, but the vast majority of people are going to take the easiest, most convenient way. So I think if Games Workshop would release some STLs, they could get back money from people who printed it because they can't find the model or it's way too expensive. You're going to gain back customers who originally wanted to pirate your materials by making them accessible. Will Games Workshop ever do that? No, probably not. I don't see it. Not unless the company were to be like completely collapsing. See, that had a on display. It almost looked resin. That's another thing that I found funny is like I've seen lots of people online say when it comes to like Forge World stuff, get the pirated recast because the recast versions a lot of times are better than the real ones from Games Workshop when it comes to Forge World. And I just find that absolutely ironic and somewhat funny. But, I mean, if anyone wants to tell me what's on their hobby desk, what they're working on right now, feel free. Let me know what y'all got going on. I'm just here to get all these gaunts prepped. Oops. Oh. Dug into his tail. Sucks, because I really thought I was going to get to priming hit these guys, but I don't know that that's going to happen, because I still got to wash them. This guy feels like he's about to snap off his base. I don't know what this is on the bottom either. Looks like he was sitting on something after he got glued. Also need to pop magnets in all these bases. A lot of this cleanup you're probably not even going to see anyways, but just in case. And I like to have a good surface to work with when painting. Lord, these guys are barely on their bases. Shoot. Yeah. Maybe. Bad part is, even after I prime these guys, I haven't actually tested my I have not actually tested my paint scheme yet. So, we'll still have to do that on at least one model. Almost there. We got 3 more left. We got to build a few more. Do those rippers, and then it's going to be time for them to get a bath. This is the probably #1 most boring part of Warhammer, but appreciate those of you who've come and hung out for a few minutes at least. I unfortunately can't go to the local hobby store and do this to hang out with people because I've got kids, but I guess the next best is hanging out with some internet people and doing this. Actually, I have an idea. Never tried this before. Huh. That actually works really well. Well, okay, kind of well. I don't know that I'd like it for that part. It's not quite smooth enough. Oh no! Good God. Oh no. It's getting really messy really quickly. Cool. Good God. Well, this is never gonna work. Yeah, I really don't know how this is ever gonna work. Dear God. Okay, to fix that, we need... we're gonna drill, baby, drill. Man, I'm never gonna get this fixed. Alright, I think we'll call it for there right now. Thank you for watching.